Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bill is a character. I spent last weekend with Bill.
I'm a shy kid.
Yeah, you are. You really are. You need to open up.
You're absolutely shy kid. Yep.
How you doing, Dr. Featherstone?
The same shy kid who does. Doing well, man. It's good to talk to you again. And
yeah, it's good to talk to you. We're on a bit of a delay.
Absolutely. Check 1 2.
I don't know
now
why.
You're on. Now you're on.
1 2.
We're good?
You got it.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, Justin.
All right. Yeah, you were here almost a year ago. You were here in November 6th, November 6th, 2024. So
you're a good record keeper, Dr. Chris.
Wow.
Welcome back, Justin.
Yeah, you are.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to be back.
Oh, that's just Google. I'll take no.
So we spent a lovely weekend together at the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. Justin, his mom, Bob Smith, one of the old PWI editors, Trish Stratus, Tony Atlas,
Tito wasn't there.
Johnny Rods, Tito Santana, Davey O'Hannon. It was just a great event. But I found out something I didn't know about Harley Race until that weekend, Dr. Chris.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
You know, when a wrestler wrestles in the ring, they have their own language. Like Angelo Savoldi had a when somebody. And I always remember when I was by ringside.
Carney.
What's that?
Carney, their own Carney language.
Well, I don't know if it was Carney language. They just made noise. Art Carney was with the Honeymooners at that point. So, different guy. Art Carney, Ed Norton, the Honeymooners.
I'm talking about the noise.
Carney was the general directing the match. Bill's talking about it more of a gimmick type thing.
I know. I'm just talking about something else totally. But in the meantime, I said, when I used to take pictures of your dad and I was like 3 feet away from him and the guy would put a hold on him, he'd start going, cha, yeah, cha, yeah, cha. I said, what was that? And why did he do that? And Justin told me a story I never heard before. Would you mind telling our unscripted viewers all about that?
Absolutely not. Dad, yeah. Well, I asked my mom when I was a little kid, I said, why does Dad make that sound? And she said, it's how he keeps time. Okay, I'm a little kid. So I grow up and I'm like, wait a minute, what's the difference? What time it is? What's the difference? They announce it anyway. He knows what time it is. What is it? And I asked him and he said, well, I'm the heel. I got to piss him off some way. So
Nice.
what he did was that sound just annoyed the first 3 rows of fans, just drove them nuts, and drove the wrestlers nuts too, but they got used to it. But he'd make that sound, and the fans would wonder why he's making that sound, and then they'd wonder why he's still making that sound, and then 30 minutes later, they're wondering why he's still making that sound, and then they get pissed because it gets irritating. It's like that drip, water dripping in the bathroom or something. After a while, it drives you nuts.
Yeah.
So it never bothered me. Never bothered me. I looked forward to it. And one of the photographers around ringside all the time was Kiyotoka Jimmy Suzuki, not Suzuki, Jimmy Suzuki. And when your dad would do that, Suzuki would shoot a picture of him, and he'd yell back at Harley, "Cha-ya-ya, cha-ya-ya, cha-ya-ya."
Yeah, he drove people nuts with that.
Laugh, but he didn't.
Y'all remember Haku's?
Yes, of course. No, Haku.
Oh
yeah.
Right.
But a lot of people think that just, like athletes throw a shot put or whatever, and weightlifters or whatever, they think that it's like some big effort or they're doing something, something big is happening, and all they're doing is pretty much annoying people.
Yeah. Pedro Morales used to go boo, 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 boo when he was getting beaten.
Well, and then speaking with Stu Hart.
Oh.
Very interesting.
I talked to him for 10 minutes, 1 hour.
Go ahead, Bill.
What's that?
So I want to bring something up that happened at a luncheon that we had with Justin, his mom, me, Bob Smith, and who else was sitting with us here?
When we had lunch last weekend, and Tito was there.
There was one other person. I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember either.
It was you. So you brought me something that I love and I cherish, and it's this photograph that I took the night in Kansas City that your dad won the title
for the 7th time.
And there's you and your mom kissing him, and then we took a similar photo of me in the middle. But I never asked you what your memory of this particular photo is.
Well, after that match, of course, there was quite a photo shoot afterward, and if you remember, the band Molly Hatchet was playing in the other half of the Keel, and they had finished up, and so there were the rock bands back there, Dad's back there, the wrestlers are back there. Dad's just set this big, momentous record, the 7th world title. And so we were several hours back there taking photos. You remember my whole family was there. My mom's mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, aunt, uncle, a couple of cousins. My godfather was there. So by the time, all these pictures had been taken and whatever, and Bill wanted to take some personal pictures just for for my mom and I and my dad. And so that was one of them. We took some I'm the only one that has a copy of that that I know of. Oh, and you.
I've got the other one.
Yeah. But that was made from the original. The original hangs right over there in my hallway. And that was just one of my favorite photos I've ever seen taken of us. But yeah, I just remember it being the personal time. I remember it was hours back there of taking photos for the magazines and this and that and whatever. And you finally pulled us aside and said, let's take some family shots. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. And that's why I gave you one.
That's awesome. So let's get into the juice of the matter, and that's so we can call some really cool moments of the fans locking into really good Harley Race stories from the NWA.
Everybody does a Harley imitation, don't they?
I know. Everyone gives it a try.
7 times NWA.
You gotta be good to do it, because when I was with your father in Japan and he wanted to scare me off going on a private plane, which he did, he says, the 4 of us will be in the damn plane, and then the thunder clouds will make that plane go up and down. And I got airsick without even seeing the plane.
Wow.
You know, my father, most people don't know, in the 60s, my father got his pilot's license.
Oh, I didn't know
Or
that.
he tried to get his pilot. Like, I don't know if he ever got his solo, but he did have a pilot's license. And I can just imagine the instructor saying, "Harley, this plane won't go any faster. Harley, you got to slow down. This plane is not supposed to go this fast." And so later, then, you know, we'd have to take a chartered or a private plane because of schedules and whatever. And we get on the plane, and Dad get on, and he'd go up and sit in the left hand, the cockpit and sit in the left hand pilot seat. My mom would look at the pilot and say, "You're not going to let him fly, are you?"
Yeah, it's that sounds definitely like something Harley Race would do for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Harley, please slow down.
Yeah, exactly. So Vince McMahon was recently in the news once again, as far as just the speaking of going fast. Vince McMahon was recently in the news regarding the accident, the reckless driving case. TMZ covered and caused his car to be really. I mean, there's pictures out in the public. It looks really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And of course, Harley Race, when he really he had that streak for sure. He said he looked like he had that blonde streak on the Harley Race, you know, NWA World Heavyweight Champion, multi-time. He reached 7 times, right? That was his,
8.
That was his 8 times. Okay, yeah, because Flair.
Final one he won in New Zealand.
That's right. Flair broke. What was it 83 that Flair won from
in Starkey's?
Yeah.
Dad kind of passed the torch in Starrcade in '83.
Starrcade '83. Yeah,
I was there too.
Yep. And so, of course, he was known in NWA, but he went over to WWE shortly after he became King Harley Race, and so he had that King of the Ring type of gimmick that came with him. From your recollection, speaking of Vince McMahon and Harley Race, how was their relationship from what you experienced growing up?
Well, Vince has never been anything but nice to me.
Nice.
Personally. And he had a lot of respect for my father. I think he probably got that from his father, from Vince Sr. Vince revolutionized, or basically rewrote how wrestling was done.
Yeah.
And Dad and he had a talk, and he said, "You know, if I come up there, I don't want your belt. I don't want any belts. I have enough belts. I have enough championships or whatever. I'm going to be the king." So Vince said, "Oh, fine." You know, he thought that great gimmick. That'd be a great gimmick. Well, my father got kicked out of school the second week of his 9th grade year and never went back. But he was the smartest man I've ever met. And he pulled one over on Vince. Vince thought it was going to be a gimmick. He didn't realize that what my dad was doing was saying, "Okay, then I'm going to be the Arnold Palmer of wrestling. I'm going to be the Roger Petty of wrestling. I'm going to be the king of wrestling. And when I leave wrestling, I'm still going to be the king of wrestling." And he was right.
Yeah.
So Vince thought it was a gimmick, but Dad knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
When I saw that the first time I went in there, I saw Harley, for your dad, do the king thing. I was going like, wait a minute, he's not a sports entertainer. The only Harley Race that I ever knew was that tough SOB, you know, that I'd see in the NWA. And here I felt, well, why is he doing this? Am I the only one that thought that he was, you know, going into that sports entertainment realm?
You have to also remember that Sam Mushnick, back when he was the president of the NWA, would not allow anyone to work at his shows under a royalty gimmick. No one was allowed to be king or emperor or prince, whatever, because his champion was his champion. And so Dad, thinking back on that in the 60s, in 70s when he learned this from Sam Mushnick. Well, look forward a few years, he's like, all right, fine, I'll be the king.
Yeah.
And Vince, not even realizing that Sam had never allowed anybody in his territories to be called some sort of royalty because the champion was the champion. He didn't know he got one pulled over on him.
Yeah, Sam's entire group of wrestlers were just non-gimmicks, pretty much. It was just straight pro wrestling. That's what St. Louis was known for.
Harley Let's Race, see who wins.
The Funk.
Let's see who wins.
Yeah.
Do you recall the reason why Race left and ended his tenure in the WWE?
Well, maybe this has been pretty widely publicized. He did a move with a match with Hogan, and he laid Hogan out on a table, and he was going to do a flying headbutt off the apron of the ring. Hogan moved, and this was back in the day when they didn't have tables like they do now that break away. This was a real table with a real metal band around the bottom, whatever. And Dad went through the table, but the metal bent, but it snapped back and hit him in the guts. Moral of the story is he ended up having several surgeries on his abdomen, several feet of his large intestines removed. Basically blew his large intestines out. He finished the match and wrestled for a couple more weeks until WrestleMania 4. And I came home, he was in my apartment. I came home to my apartment, and he was lying on the family room, my floor, like facing the TV, but he was in a fetal position. He was out. I called the ambulance, and we went to the hospital, and that's how the doctor said, "You're lucky you got him here, because right now his body is just poisoning itself, because all the holes in his large intestines, that poison just leaking out in his body." Mm-hmm. So after that, Vince came to him and said, Who do you want to be king? And Dad told him Haku.
Oh.
And that's how that happened.
Wow.
People think that, Vince is going to decide everything. And no, he asked my dad. He said, Who do you want to be king?
Well, other than the fact
Haku, so then get back to what the origin of your story.
Yeah.
That took a lot out of him. I mean, he was 200 for a while there for 9 months or whatever. When he was in bed, most of the time had 2 colostomy bags. He went down to I think the lowest I saw him was 197 from 250, 260, 270.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it took a lot for him to come back. He did come back. He did win another title in the Caribbean. And but that was just that was probably between the hip surgeries and that was he just couldn't do it anymore. Now he was one of the most active managers that's ever managed, though.
Yeah, I remember that back in WCW, came back and it's Vader.
Vader time. That was a great pairing of a manager and a hell of a monster.
Well,
it worked too.
It worked. They put Dad with Vader to protect the other guys. Vader was hurting people. Yes. He was nuts, and he was hurting people. And they went to my dad, and they said, "Would you manage this big son of a you-know-what?" And Dad got in there and got him under control. And you can, if you really watch closely in some of the matches, when Dad does the manager interference thing, it looks like he's doing something defensive or to protect his guy, but he's really doing something offensive to the other guy. If you watch him closely when he was a manager, he did about as much work as the guy who was managing.
Yeah.
He just does it. He's just sneaky. He's Harley, He just, how the heck did he do that?
Yeah. How was Harley's relationship with Ric Flair?
Oh, it was great. They were. Rick looked up to my father a lot.
Okay.
He at Dad's funeral, he said if it wasn't for Harley Race, there would be no Ric Flair.
Yeah.
They had tremendous respect for each other. Dad just wasn't going to pass the baton to anybody.
Yeah.
And he picked Rick, and Rick has always been wonderful. He's been a wonderful friend of the family. He's just a great guy. He loves to tell Harley stories.
He went way back into the AWA days when Vern Gagne started Ric Flair, and your dad was there with Larry Hennig as a tag team. I remember that.
Yeah, Rick was just starting then.
But
no, they got. I mean, they were they were close enough to where. A quick story. The original domed globe, that the 3-dimensional globe in the middle there, the stainless steel globe had a dent in it. Yeah, it had a dent in it. That dent was from my father's head. Oh, really? And it was from Rick hitting him over the head with it. And after that match, I was with him in the dressing room, and he's sitting there looking at himself in the mirror, and blood's running down his face, but it's not from his forehead, where it's coming from the top of his head. And with his curly hair, like he looked like a red Brillo pad was on his head. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, and he finally figures out what happened. He turns around, I won't cuss because he did. He turned around, he said, "Ricky, you hit me over the head with that belt one more time, I'm going to shove it up your..." And Ricky never hit him over the head with a belt again.
There you go.
Did your dad, I don't know if anybody's ever asked you this, but did your dad have any regrets about being who he was and in the business of pro wrestling?
Dad always told me, and he would have told me this if he could have spoke on the day he passed away. Last week he passed away. He was one of the lucky few people on earth that did exactly what they wanted every day of their life.
Great. That's great.
Starting 2 weeks before he turned 16, he started pro wrestling and was still doing it in the 90s.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Justin, never missed a day.
Justin, did you ever aspire to get in the ring for full time?
It was never really an option. I mean, I wrestled. I was state champion, and I was champion, national champion, whatever, in collegiate wrestling or in high school wrestling and kids wrestling. But Bill, around the time that Dad won the 7th title, and he was on that schedule again, 300 plus nights a year, hour most of the time, traveling territory to territory all over the world. My parents decided that I needed to go get an education and not put my family and my body through that. Because, I mean, in other words, there couldn't have been a worse time for them to try to decide whether or not that would be something for me to do right when they were just were killing my father with his schedule and with his matches and everything else. That was the worst time for them to say, yeah, I think Justin needs to do this too. They're like, oh no. Exactly. And it was really neat. When I graduated from college, my mom took a picture. My dad and I were on a balcony looking out over Dallas, Texas. I went to SMU, and my dad looked over me and he said, "I'm finally at peace." And I said, "What do you mean you're finally at peace?" He said, "Well, all my life I've been thinking maybe I should have broke you into the wrestling business. I've always just thought, your mother and I agreed that we weren't going to do it, but I've always just had that little bitty thing in my head." And I said, "So why are you at peace?" He said, "Because we made the right decision. You have those degrees. Now you go out and make yourself a family, get in the business world, and keep your body safe." So that was a pretty cool moment.
That is a pretty cool moment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, look who I just saw.
Who's that?
Guess who's here?
Billy!
You got to come in here.
Oh, my favorite lady.
There you are.
Mrs. Harley, Ivana. Oh, it's so great to see you.
Great to see you too.
We were reminiscing about the wonderful weekend we all had together in Albany with the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. It was so good to be with the two of you for the weekend.
Yes. Well, for your birthday.
But your birthday...
That's actually tomorrow.
I know, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you're like her. It lasts like a month.
Oh, yeah. No, mine lasts an entire year.
You get more presents that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely. People have been sending me my drugs, my tick crack, as Teddy Long says.
Have you come down from the chocolate high from all the chocolate we got?
No, they gave me a great Russell Stover gift chocolates. No, they're still in my tummy. They're not going anywhere else.
Chris, go ahead and ask some questions. I didn't know Mom was going to stop in here. I know you have some questions.
Oh, I'm having y'all doing.
Y'all
What's going in. I'll say y'all going in, man. I'm having y'all. I did have a question about Vince. About Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I know you wanted
to the car crash. I'm Chris, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Chris. I'm Ivana.
Nice to meet
My
you,
mother, Ivana.
Yes, indeed. So when it comes to of course, your raising Justin and of course Harley, what are some experiences that you remember having with him in the WWE with Vince?
With Vince?
Yeah.
Harley and Vince. Yeah.
Well, they interestingly enough, in the dressing room, and this was all of my father's career, he was called Mr. Race or the boss. Mm-hmm. Then the guys started calling him King. But you know who called him the boss? Vince.
Yep.
Hey, boss. Come here for a second. Yeah, Vince did. So they had a Vince did what he did. Dad moved with the times. Yeah. And you're going to roll with the times, or you can fight them. And
Harley Race carried the air of boss. When you looked at him, you wouldn't just say he's just one of the boys. Mm-hmm. He's the boss.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, when first time he had Andre over his head in 1978. Yeah, Andre was up. Boss, put me down. Boss, put me down.
Oh yeah, Andre loved to call. Andre would. And I was in New Orleans. I never told this story. I was in New Orleans with about 20 people. Andre was at one end of the table. We were at Pat O'Brien's. Harley was at the other end of the table. And Andre just said to him, "How much can you drink, boss?" And they must have gone an hour before Andre beat your dad in the drinking contest by about 2 mugs. That was it. That was it. But he loved your father.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, he used to come in town into Kansas City here, even when he wasn't working, because he did enjoy spending time with our family. And we had a room at the house that was made for, we called it the giant room. It was a room made for Andre or Bubba or whoever came and stayed with us. But Andre would, he came in town and Dad would take him downtown to this Big and Tall Man's store, and they'd make clothes for Andre, because in the 70s and 80s, that was the only way Andre got clothes, were they had to make them.
Custom made.
And I remember Dad had called the owner up at the store. That big SOB's coming in town again. Get ready to make some boat covers.
Boat covers. Boat covers. Ivana, what was it like? With him being away so often, I mean, Japan, Australia, and the United States, what was it like for you as the wife of an NWA champion to adapt to something like that?
It wasn't easy at all, Bill.
Yeah.
It was very hard on the marriage. It was hard on the relationship. It was hard on the family life.
And there were no cell phones in those days, so getting in touch for not being able to talk to your family for a week, 2 weeks at a time must have really been very difficult.
I was probably one of the only 7 or 8 year olds that could find my father in Australia.
How was that?
Well, I mean, I knew he was in Melbourne, and I knew he was probably staying at a Hilton or Sheraton or whatever back then, but you'd have to call the local operator, who would call the long distance operator, who would call the Australian long distance operator, who would call the local. And by the time you're talking like 4 or 5 different operators, and I'd get through and I'd get to the directory of the town, and I'd say, "Give me the Hilton," or whatever. And they'd put me in charge and say, "Harley Race's room, please." He did. "Oh, hey, Dad. The hell are you doing? Time is it there?" Instantly, he's like, "What time is it?"
I have one last
doing calculations why I'm not in bed and going to school or whatever.
Yeah. I've got one last question for you, because I know you still follow the business. If your dad was in his prime these days, who would be the opponent you'd like to see him in the ring with?
Rollins.
Oh, Rollins. See, I think Gunther. I think your dad.
Oh yeah, or Gunther. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Dr. Chris, who would you say?
Yeah, I was just about to ask Ivana a question. As far as just Harley's concerned. Say that again, Justin.
No, I said it's a small screen. I was talking to her.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah. So as far as Justin was talking about how he decided to endeavor in a business career outside of pro wrestling, what are some pointers or some encouragement that you gave Justin, being the son of one of the most popular pro wrestlers of all time?
Don't speed.
Yeah,
Don't speed.
Very short and sweet. Dr. Chris, going back to my question, if Harley was around today and in his prime, who in pro wrestling would be the ideal opponent?
For Harley currently, Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Harley versus Braun Strowman. Book it.
And you know what? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Justin, where can we find you, man, and promote your stuff before we leave?
Hey, well, she's writing a book. It's called Life with a King. It's a memoir about her and her life with my father. And I'm writing a book called Don't Tell Your Mother. And it's about exactly what it sounds like, all those things. Don't tell your mother.
I'm learning more now than I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. I get off a podcast, I'll tell a story, and she'll call me up. You guys did what? I was like, Mom, it was 50 years ago.
Don't tell your mother.
He said, don't tell your mother. He didn't say tell her when you're 35. He said, don't tell her.
Don't tell her at all. Don't tell her at all.
So anyway, we have books coming out, hopefully at the end of this year. I'm Justin. I don't hide. I'm Justin Race on Facebook, Justin_Race 05. But you can put Justin Race in too for Instagram. I don't hide, just Justin Race.
Y'all do signing still?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Follow him at Justin.
Hopefully be signing books soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get you on that convention circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Right now it's focus on writing. Get the book finished.
Yeah.
I know what that's
a lot harder to write a book than you think.
I know. I've been there.
And it's emotional too. It's taken me longer because I had to stop for a while because I spend all day telling fun stories about my dad, close the lid down, look a picture and say, yep, he's still gone.
Yeah.
So it's like all fun all day. And then
I loved traveling with your dad.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really did.
We got to travel a lot with him too.
Yeah. Stuff like that, like writing books, both, wife and son, writing a book about him. Those are the types of things that's really going to continue the legacy of Harley Race on.
That's my goal.
Absolutely. So on behalf of Justin and Ivana Race and Bill Apter, I'm Dr. Chris. This is UnSKripted. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Don't tell your mother.
Don't tell your mother.